structure, of which I have a few. I have a few theories. But maybe this isn't the time or the place for that. Hello everyone, Thoranx is here, and welcome back to No Man's Sky. As we depart the planet Never a Moment's Rests, in order to... obtain an alien melody, Pulsing Heart. That is a good deal, and we've already got 3 there, so we can start building these here. I accept some of those terms so much. We need more of that. What I really need, though, is some scream suppressor. We're crafting Herox? No, I don't want to craft Herox. That's funny that the ship has all the stuff to craft it, though. And Lemium. Let's just go ahead and store that. And then I think we'll process this into gold. There we go. Okay. Well, that worked out very nicely, actually. Never a moment's rest. Oof. Fun, fun, fun times. Now, we do want to go back to subsurface gardens for the ancient ruin, but we still have 1 planet left, which I believe is a radioactive planet. I don't think... Let's see, that's natural glass fields. Is it this one with the storm? It is. I doubt we'll make it there while the storm is still going on. A decaying nuclear planet. Copper is still standard. It's not been activated by extreme lightning, so not much going on there. No indications of heightened sentinel activity. There we go. The storm is clearing now. I'm interested to see, because at the visual level of approaching it, it appears similar in color to the previous radioactive planet we landed on. No, the atmosphere is different. In fact, the terrain looks a bit more extreme as well, potentially. I'd like to be on the day side. I think we're just going to offset even more, actually. Okay. I did not expect this. It startled the heck out of me, actually. This one is, like, all intact and stuff. Kind of. Alright, let's just go slow. Now I'm fully convinced this is why the economy here is failing. This one does not appear like we can land on it and investigate it. This one has had some sort of explosive decompression. Yeah, we're just looking inside at the guts. I don't think we're going to go after any of the cargo pods, though we probably should, but generally those end up being a trap by pirates, and even though I'm not afraid of the pirates, I don't necessarily want to give them the satisfaction, brief as it might be, of falling for their trap. And more than anything, I would like to continue our planetary discovery. Okay, this atmosphere appears to be pretty normal by standards of Earth measurement. I kind of like the way that looks, actually, if I'm going to be honest. Just nice flying down into the blue sky, okay. Look at those markings on the terrain. Okay, yeah. There are some mountain peaks on this planet. Oh yeah, there's some more. You can see them kind of... Ooh. Whoa. Yeah, the radiation's pretty extreme. It's warping the spectral effect. It's producing a spectral effect. It's giving us some refraction of light waves. You can see how it changes the light in the distance. Okay, another radioactive dust storms. This one... I think a daytime shot with a planet and a couple of moons like that is actually kind of cool. But more than anything, I am curious to do some scanning. So this is a mineral, despite having some sort of organic on the top. Salt baked. Polyp colony. Salt fusion. Almost like there was an ocean here. And it was burned off by radioactivity, potentially? But look at this mountain.
Radiation protection.
And there are others. Yep, there's one over there. Oh, that's interesting. Air leaching, drought resistant. This has a little bit more of what I would expect. But those suns, I think we're actually really close to the star. That could be a lot of where this radioactivity is coming from. Okay, hold on. This sort of backs up our hypothesis of it being a former ocean bed or seabed. Magnetic attraction recently formed. Okay, well there goes that hypothesis. Not all of science is being right. In fact, much of it is being wrong. Photosynthesis. Okay, some kind of neat fighters over there. That one is interesting if you like the circular wings. It definitely has the quote-unquote hot rod front. Saw something move over there. So here we're getting some of the venting of radioactive particles. Very busy around the trade station as anticipated. I'm not content to just kind of sit here. I want to go to the top of this mountain, as you do. Just going to recharge that fuel tank. Okay, well if we don't get a shot of that, we're just not being creative. So again, we have this spectral effect, lots of impact craters on this planet. Lots and lots. And then again with the spectral effect and a double sunset, we get this sort of very weird... Oh, yeah, no. I think this is more of a over-the-shoulder type shot. Yeah, look at the rings. So that would be never a moment's rest over there. And we're just sort of perpendicular to it. I think that's where we want to be there. Hold on. No, maybe. Ooh, some meteorites. Maybe if we back the time up a little bit. I don't normally like messing with the time for the sake of pictures, but I don't necessarily want like full sunrise or... yeah, there's that vapor filter. Okay. Enough photography. We haven't really seen any fauna here yet. This looks like it might be the tallest mountain in the nearby... No, that one might be taller. This is what we wanted to scan here, though. Hydrothermal. Seen quite a few meteors so far. We could maybe stay here for a minute. I haven't seen any fighters that I'm absolutely enamored with. And because it's a buyer's market, we're going to be waiting for the perfect one before we ever decide to pull the trigger. Not that we spend much time with our fighter anyways. But it's nice to have options. Uh-huh. There's our gamma weed patch. Quite a few of them down there. Ooh, what have we here? The Opais Tower. Kind of makes sense that this mountain has something to do with the local life here as far as having built structures around it. Self-aware. Interesting. Self-aware insects? Are they self-aware of how short their lifespan is? Because yikes. But then I guess, would it be any different than anything else? Regardless of how long your quote-unquote lifespan is, I suppose if you're self-aware of it, it's going to cause you consternation from time to time. 'Tis the nature of existence. Okay, well, I don't really want to sit right here. We did get radioactive dust storms listed as the weather. We've yet to experience any of the weather, and the clouds here are very intermittent. I will say that the spectral effect has this rather beautiful appearance on the night sky. It almost just feels like an unusual desert planet. Of course, registering 6 rads on the scanner means it's actually kind of a light radioactivity, if there is such a thing. And we can take a few jumps up and down these craters, these impact craters, and just go out looking for some fauna, perhaps? Beyond just swarms of insects. Fauna is listed as copious. Ooh, look at that effect. That's part of the nebula in the background? I think it's hard to beat this epic, picturesque sort of never a moment's rest with its rings laid out perpendicular to us. I mean, it's pretty darn amazing. I think it's fairly understandable with all of the impact craters we've seen to also correlate that to all the meteors we've seen as well. I suppose the real question is, are they bringing the radioactivity to this planet? Is it possible that all that radioactivity has started burning away the atmosphere and or any oceans? Because as you can see here, this is not quite a shadow, as it appears to be some form of differentiation in the soil here. It's very specifically flat. Yep, and appears to have quite a bit of sand. meteors in the distance. So part of the... Oh, look at this thing! This is what we scanned? Oh, we need to look at these more. Highly intelligent for such a small animal, they appear to be entirely aware of their physical limitations. Voracious feeders, they consume several times their own body weight in vegetable matter every day. Can dislocate their jawbones. Huh. And here we have an array. We already have one set of ruins. I suppose that's probably a pretty good argument for going to get the ruins as soon as we could. But then the truth is, we would be spending all this time maybe backtracking the planets we'd already been to. It's much more likely we're going to go, you know, VFR direct to our destination if we haven't been there before than if we have already been there. So look at this. This is like some sort of interesting growth area here.
Radiation protection falling. Technology recharge.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there's some sort there. Okay, so there is some sort of grass that grows up in this area, more like wildflowers. And they're centered around these vents. Again with these radioactive vents. Well, that absolutely lends quite a bit of credibility to the concept that the radiation is from within the planet and not coming from the outside. Although we can't deny the prevalence of meteors and impact craters, it's entirely possible that that is a red herring as to the reason. Oh, here we go. A crashed freighter embedded into the terrain. Oh wow. Yep. Quite eerie, I have to say, to just stumble upon one of these at night. The color distortion effect. But again, how many crashed freighters have we already found? 3 derelict freighters in space, 1 crashed here on the surface. Only 1 planet with aggressive sentinels, so we're piecing together a theory here. This has high sentinel activity, aggressive sentinels, and then that's it. Conflict level shows stable, but the economy is failing. Something or someone has been crashing these freighters. Let's read the log and see if we can learn more. No distress beacon power. We've crashed. It was much calmer than I thought it would be. Our training worked. The crew were composed. And 12 casualties. They'll not be forgotten. We're running out of food. Whatever we attempt to scavenge, whenever we attempt to fight for our survival, the Sentinels arrive to prevent us. We need to get off-world. We're going to retreat beneath the surface and await rescue. I'll maintain my own link with the ship. They are dead. No longer hungry. No longer... Shh, what have we done? It was the Sentinels. I should have known. I mean, I think in my heart I knew that this is the work of the Sentinels. We know from logs interfaced with on anomaly planets and also abandoned buildings that the Sentinels have gone rogue before. There were other universes where the Sentinels became so aggressive and hostile to everything and broke what they were supposed to originally be for, that entire universes had to be deleted by the Atlas. So it could be that part of the process of the Atlas dying is that the Sentinels kind of reach more and more of this tipping point of being uncontrollable and deviating from their natural purpose. Some of it is spelled out for us, and some of it is a little vague. And so, with this amorphous backstory, we're forced to kind of speculate, come up with our own theories, of which ancient data structure, of which I have a few. I have a few theories, but maybe this isn't the time or the place for that. I think instead, it's always better, rather than come up with your own theory, it's always better to get it direct from the source. And so one of the things that maybe you might not know is the difference between a monolith and a plaque. So this is a plaque. It does not have the 3 word knowledge stones to give you new words, but it does have a Viking plaque sort of right here that you interface with, and this is going to give us an actual breakdown of Viking history and lore. So let's do that. The whispers of the Viking ancients fill the air. Suddenly words etch themselves upon the marker and then deep into my mind. And so it came to pass that on the eve of the 18th moon of Drungula, Herc cast the shackles of the sentinel oppressors into the pit. The Viking were the glorious first, the rising water that broke the dam. The endless war began. I don't necessarily want knowledge of the past. We already have ruins we need to go to, so instead I'll seek to learn more of the Viking language. We sort of already knew that the Viking had declared an endless war against the Sentinels, but at some point that war stopped. Due to Gek interference, pretty sure the Viking had to cease their war. Yeah, we're gonna get this again. This time hashtag no filter. Because why not? You gotta do what inspires you. The Viking were not the first, though. And it's possible, given enough of a timeline, they wouldn't be the last. But we know that there was another race that also challenged the Sentinels long before the Gek existed. And I believe the records show that they were vaporized entirely. There's nothing left. They were completely deleted by the Sentinels. Oh, look at this! Little baby bat moth dragonflies. A terrifying thing to say, but they're actually kind of cute. Alright, I think I'm not interested in the derelict freighter and its goods. I think instead we're going to head up to this mountain and get one more look from up here. See if we can locate some fauna other than the flying fauna that we've found so far. But ultimately, if the fauna is that difficult to locate and we're just not going to find them, there's not a lot we can do about it. We're officially 23 minutes by foot away from our ship at the trade post. There again, there's that same one. What's that one? The King's Lucent Landing, I think it said. So we can see the radioactive dust, and it's absolutely in the atmosphere enough that it's having an effect, and our suit is detecting it. But not really a storm. Even though it claims there are radioactive dust storms on our weather scanning advisory, I'm starting to think that maybe this is the worst of it, like this is as bad as it gets. Perhaps it's just not windy enough here, that you just have to deal with the persistent radiation bubbling up out of the earth. I was gonna say like this, but this is damaged machinery. But we've seen the vents. It's possible that's really just as bad as it gets. I'd feel a little better if we could find some fauna. But it's possible that they are, you know, very recluse. It's also possible they're underground. We've seen very little in the way of cave structure. Very little at all. And by very little, I mean, of course, none. All these impact craters, but no visible signs of subterranean activity. Whoa! You better watch yourself. They almost took us clean off the mountain. Gosh, I had a flashback to our permadeath playthrough. Another rare flying, uncommon flying, uncommon flying, uncommon flying, underground, underground, underground. Okay, that explains a lot. It pays to read. It pays to read the scanner's log. So there are no creatures above ground. Could be the radiation is just too much for them. Yeah, see, we needed to get off that mountain. That was just... the mountain was just there for troublemakers. Well, I'm tempted to say now, a little while longer. I think we'll proceed by foot. Till we can find some more flying creatures. I have a feeling there are going to be some interesting ones here. Because if you look, it says we have rare, uncommon, and then we have some we have an underground rare as well. So maybe we'll look a little bit for cave structures. I don't see any underground curiosities that would be like a dead ringer for cave structure, unfortunately. Look at this. This is a different type of sort of grass. Even though it's not really grass, it's more like wildflower weeds. But they're very much a different type than the kind we'd been looking at. And then even this mushroom gathering. Could this be a cave? It is. It is. Okay. Admittedly, not much of one. Confirmed they exist, though, which we already sort of knew. The likelihood of a planet with 0 caves would be pretty low. It could just be that most of the planet resides pretty close to the bedrock layer, as most of this planet is sort of these sweeping lowlands like this. Yeah. Like, I know that I can see there's terrain variation there, it's just not very much at all. Ooh, here we go. Yeah, see? Look. And then boom. Is this a bedrock layer, or is this... So this confirms our theory, right? That we're just incredibly close to the bedrock layer here. There's not much room for the cave at all. There we go. Flying creatures in the distance. Okay, we've found some life forms. Let's stay in this area and see what develops. This is obviously some sort of nesting ground or feeding ground, breeding ground, some sort of local feature here is bringing these creatures here because they're very sparse. The fauna is actually pretty limited on this planet. Oh, we have more. Yes. Right, yes. Obviously related, the green ordium and the caratulium. I think we might just stay here for a moment. Of course, the local Viking are just gonna fly through with their ships and scare them off. No, we're trying to birdwatch here. Well, you kind of wasted your 30s with that whole birdwatching phase. I never go back to the carpet store, just so you know. Well, I'm not going to give it too much longer. I think we've given a fair chance for this planet to reveal to us its majesty, and we've seen a lot of really neat things. I can appreciate the difference in this one compared to, say, the other radioactive planet in this system. This one definitely feels more desert-like. No, we've already scanned those. More desert-like, and the other one felt more... Gosh, I even feel weird saying it, but more paradise-like. Oh, look at these. Are these... This is the rare life form? It is. Discovered amidst the thermonuclear fog of the planet, their lives are brief, their existence a blip, nothing but a single desperate flight. Their diet is largely conventional, consisting of largely of local flora, but the scent of nip-nip drives them into a frenzy. They gorge upon its buds, and they're fragrant. Well, that's why they're rare. If their lifespan is so low, I mean, look at the size of them. We've got to get our picture with them. No, 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 don't fly away, don't fly away. Come on. Don't do it. Hold on. Let's see, the planet's that way. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Here we go. Look at that wingspan, maybe? They are pretty amazing. Maybe if we go down here like this, we can get the two planets. Yeah. Okay, so they're not going to be our friends, and they don't accept any sort of bait. Maybe if we stand still, they'll come down and land. Maybe not. Okay. I can accept those terms. It definitely adds... Oh no, where'd they go? They're kind of just floating away. The rare creatures are... Yeah. Actually worth it a little bit. Look at that. If their life consists of one long flight, that would explain why they're hard to find, but also they're trying to land maybe because they're on their way out. Who knows? I think we'll happily call this one the Radio Desert. How about... purple... Radio Desert. Mostly purple because of the night sky. It was pretty memorable. As nice as the day was, the the night sky was just this beautiful violet, and I know part of that was our nebula. It already sort of has this violet hue to it. We can't really look around it very effectively in the Nightmare in Space and the Living Ship, but it was accentuated by the spectral effect in the atmosphere that it kind of lit up, you know. Alright, we're going to pulse jump around this planet, find the ancient ruins, and I think we'll recover an artifact of value from this system for making our way to the next one. Oh, and here we're going to learn a little bit more about Viking culture here with another plaque. So here we are on subsurface gardens with the really intricate cave structures, and true to their form, there's another really awesome cave right next to the ruins as soon as we land. Pretty much expected that. I don't think you can get away from how great the caves are on this planet. Alright, let's see what else we're going to learn about the Viking today. The imprint of an ancient civilization was once absorbed by this strange marker. The story of the Vikings somehow spills out in the language of my own people. The death of Herc came during the Endless War. Herc's body was ravaged by old age, becoming ancient and useless. Bellowing, Herc tore this failing body in two before the great monolith, as is the Viking way. The echo of that dying roar can still be heard throughout the outer edge. Herc lives in us, the most venerated of the ancients. And we know that Herc, waging war on the Sentinels, pretty much knew most of his life as combat with the Sentinels. Okay, I think that's going to do it for this system. I think really we have nothing much more to do except head on back to the Relentless. And chart a course for the next system. But that, you guessed it, will be in the next episode. Thank you so much for joining me. I do hope you had a good time watching. As always, I've had a good time playing. But until next time, take care.